Red Pill disclaimer. Welcome to Gawdzell's channel. By watching this video, you are choosing to take the red pill and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. All opinions expressed are Gawdzell's alone, and any copyrighted content belongs to its respective owners. Viewer discretion is advised.
Can you see it now? Can you see the Matrix for what it truly is?
Oh, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video, another episode where we like to look at strange, creepy, weird videos. You already know what we like to get into on this channel. If you already subscribed, and if you are new, subscribe if you like videos like that. Alright, and hit the like button also. But hey, this is gonna be a good video as always. Stay tuned. Let's get right into it.
To understand the importance of hydration when it comes to detoxification, because here's why. Most of the toxins are going to be eliminated with a solution, and that solution is water. All right, you need water to be able to detoxify. You need water to have a bowel movement. You need water to be able to poop. You need water to be able to sweat. So if you're dehydrated, you can't poop, you can't sweat, and you cannot pee. So it's going to be a really big issue. So you have to stay hydrated because it's one of the primary ways that we remove toxins from the body. So when you're dehydrated, you're literally putting your body in a state of an emergency. So that's really important. It's important to understand the.
So when we poop and do that, do we lose hydration? I don't know. But that's interesting.
Peace to the gods and goddesses. Today we're going to discuss truly unlocking your inner power and emerging of divine masculine and divine feminine. Now, regardless of what gender we are all composed of divine masculine and divine feminine energies. This goes into the teachings of the Ida and the Pingala. The left side of the body being divine feminine is referred to as the Ida, while the right side being divine masculine is referred to as the Pingala. Ida, or divine feminine, is the personification of the lunar element, or Basset, while the right side is the personification of the solar element, or Amun-Ra. These are all neurons that intercept through your chakra network. This is actually the same symbol that you get at the hospital if you look at it, all right? The two serpents are intertwisting, and then the wings on the top represent the divine feminine and the divine masculine, all right, on both sides, both halves. Pretty much electrical magnetic. Remember, the divine feminine side is the magnetic energy, while the masculine side is the electrical energy. In perspective, we are all electromagnetic beings. Now, a great tool for strengthening the Ida and Pingala is colloidal gold, or monatomic gold. This is an orbitally rearranged monatomic element to substantially boost your electromagnetic frequency. One of the things they teach you in yoga in regards to activation of the Ida and Pingala is breathing exercises where you hold each nostril. For example, you would hold one nostril and do the left nostril to activate the feminine, and then the right to obviously activate the masculine. Centering yourself and doing your breath work is very essential for activating the Ida and Pingala. Another thing is doing your hums or doing your ohms, like It's been scientifically proven to boost your nitric oxide by 15 times just by humming, just by breathing, just by doing your ohms, okay? And this also facilitates energy through your 72,000 meridian pathways. Another great herb while on your spiritual exploration is Ayurvedic. Ayurvedic consists of 17 different ingredients. It's great for decalcification as well as activation of the pineal gland, and it also will cleanse your meridian pathways. Another thing you can do to activate the Ida and Pingala is actually by alternating sides that you sleep on, okay? By shifting from left to right, eventually what it does is it would actually alternate the nostril that you breathe out of, okay? And what that does is that would actually shift the Ida and the Pingala to actually activate, all right? So this is another trick you can do to activate the Ida and Pingala. Now again, gods and goddesses, our primary objective is to actually activate our Kundalini, all right? And once you activate your Kundalini, this will allow you to tap into dormant DNA. It would allow you to tap into ancient memories. It allow you to basically become like a Simeon Toko or a Henrietta Lacks. These are the things we have to do in order to ascertain these type of abilities that we are seeing in like Supercell and so forth. The bridge to a Kundalini awakening is first opening that first eye. A great herb you can get for that is Haritaki. For all high-quality herbs and metaphysical products for spiritual exploration, click the link in my bio and visit Holistic Remedies, your extension to ascension. Peace, love, and light to everyone. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Today we're...
Coconut's considered a fruit, right?
It's actually a fruit, a nut, and a seed. It's called the drupe. Yep, it's different. The tree is actually not even a tree. It's like prehistoric grass. It's one of the most evolved, resilient plants on Earth. 20 million years, carbon dated.
Whoa.
It can actually grow without soil. It can go in the ocean for 3,000 miles, roll up on shore, sprout gravel, lava, sand, plant itself.
Wow. Coconut's considered a fruit, right?
It's actually a fruit, a nut, and a seed. It's called the drupe. Yep.
This is why trying to change people is useless. People don't change unless they want to. You can offer support, share wisdom, and even set an example. But at the end of the day, change comes from within. It's frustrating to watch someone you deeply care about make the same mistakes over and over. But the energy you spend trying to change others is the energy you're not investing in yourself. Your job isn't to fix people. The only person you can truly change is yourself. Focus on that. This is why trying to...
You really can't change nobody. At the end of the day, they got their own free will.
It's some game real quick. When you starting to do something, bro, you got to begin with the end in mind. You don't know what that means? That means think of the goal before you start. So in your goal, bro, if you need to get a job, DoorDash, go get a side hustle, go do a side quest, it don't matter, bro. You need to make them ends meet. Okay, you need to make them ends meet. Whatever you got to do to get to that end result, bro, you need to do it. For example, this little plant right here, you see it ain't much, but before this mug sprouted, bro, it had to get some roots. Get yourself some roots, my boy. Whatever it takes for you to get to the end, complete that. Handle business. Don't get emotional. Don't blame people. Don't start trying to quit and find an excuse. Handle business, bro. Begin with the end in mind, and your outcome shall flourish. It's some game real quick. When you starting to do...
If you can't sleep, you need serotonin, so just eat a few pieces of pineapple. If you have a headache, you need sodium, so just drink some sea salt and water. And if you have a stomach ache, you probably need magnesium, so just eat a banana. If you have low energy, you need vitamin C, and one of the highest fruits in vitamin C is kiwi. And if you want to see more videos...
According to the Anunnaki prophecies, here at Madison Square Garden, there is what's called a Babs or a Stargate that's above it, where you can travel to another dimension. But I find it interesting that next to it is Plaza 33, you know about 33 vertebrae, 33 in the Christ consciousness. There's also supposedly a Stargate above the air in Chicago. So I'm just saying, we got to crack these codes. What do you think draws so many millions of people to New York City every year, and so many people want to live here? It's the energy. According to the Anunnaki prophecy.
It's the energy. I knew it. Some of these downtowns be having different energy. That's what
when it comes to parasites, they wake up at night. So the freaks come out at night. Remember that song? So the freaks come out at night, especially if you have that itching at night, it could definitely be a parasite. Skin issues, and the reason why is because when it comes to skin issues, when you have parasites, and parasites trigger an antibody known as IgE. This antibody will trigger the immune system to start to create these allergic reactions that cause you to have skin issues. When it comes to parasites, they wake up at night. So the freaks...
How do you start categorizing them when you first walk up?
So when you first walk up to somebody, you've got to keep in mind that nobody is what they appear to be. Nobody. Every human being has 3 lives. It's what we're taught. Ooh, 3 lives. There's a public life, a secret life, and a private life, right? So the order is public life, private life, secret life. The public life is what we're all presenting to each other. It's what we want to appear as in public, right? You want to look cool and suave and handsome, and you want to sound nice, and you want to surround yourself with nice things because that's what you want the public to perceive about you. It may not be real, but it doesn't have to be real. If they perceive it to be true, then you have won, because you have just manipulated their perception. That's why broke ass high school and college kids will still wear nice name brand stuff, so they don't look like they're broke ass students, right? I was one of those students, so I remember. Then you've got your private life. Now, your private life is what your closest confidants know about you. So what your wife might know about you, what your close friends know about you, what your parents know about you. So publicly, nobody knows my feet smell bad. Privately, my wife knows my feet smell bad, right? But I'm never going to make that part of my public persona because it goes against what I'm trying to display as an image.
How do you start categorizing
crazy.
them?
That is pretty true, though. Dang. That's deep.
And your personality creates your personal reality. So it means then, if you want to change your personal reality, your life, that means you got to change your personality. You got to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You got to become conscious of your unconscious habits and behaviors and modify them. And then you have to look at certain emotions that keep you anchored to the past and ask the most important question. Do these emotions belong in my future? And the problem with those survival emotions is they're like a narcotic. They're like a drug. They give the brain and body a rush of energy. And people over time become addicted to the very rush of those survival chemicals. And they use the people and problems in their life and in their past to reaffirm their addiction to that emotion. That means they need the bad job, they need the poor relationship, they need the bad memories because it makes them feel something. So then,
even though it's not a good feeling,
that means they become addicted to the life they don't even like. And this is why change is so hard. So then, just like an addict overcoming a drug, when people start to change, they have to go through these periods where they're in the withdrawal. But the next question is, what thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? Close your eyes and begin to review those thoughts. What behaviors do you want to change or demonstrate in one day? And the act of closing your eyes and rehearsing your behaviors. The latest research in neuroscience says that you begin to change your brain to look like that experience has already happened. In other words, you're installing the neurological hardware in your brain, and if you keep doing it over and over again, the hardware becomes a software program. What does that mean? You start acting like a happy person. Why? There's no magic there. You installed the circuits. You start thinking in more unlimited ways because you put those in place. And now here's the tough part. Can you teach your body emotionally what that future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? That means you can't wait for your healing to feel gratitude and wholeness. You can't wait for your wealth to feel abundance and worthiness. You can't wait for the mystical moment to feel awe. That's the old model of reality of cause and effect. It's Newtonian physics. But the new model of reality, the quantum model of reality, is about causing an effect, which means the moment you start feeling gratitude and whole, your healing begins. The moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. So then, your body is your unconscious mind. It does not know the difference between an actual experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you can create by thought alone. So the body is believing it's living in that future reality in the present moment. And what's the significance of that? As I said, the latest research in genetics says genes don't create disease. It's the environment that signals the gene that creates change. Well, if the end product of an experience in the environment is an emotion, the moment you embrace an elevated emotion, you're signaling the gene ahead of the environment. Now, what do genes do? Genes make proteins, and what are proteins responsible for? The structure or function of your body, and the expression of proteins is the expression of life. And if you keep knocking on that genetic door over and over again, you are going to begin to upregulate the genes for health, and you're going to downregulate the genes for disease, and all of a sudden you're going to wake up in your dream and realize that you're a different person. And your personality creates your person.
These teeth, I be brushing them until you know what's good that I be brushing my teeth with a lot? Baking soda, coconut oil. You gotta use your activated charcoal. Why you don't use activated charcoal? You be saying all the time you want your teeth to be whiter, you want your teeth to be whiter. Why don't you use activated charcoal? Why you don't use it? Just put a little bit of it in your hand, dip your toothbrush in it, and brush your teeth with it. Why you don't do that? And then oil pool with coconut oil. You know, activated charcoal, you know, it's the automatic detox. It detoxes you from the inside. It pulls the detox. Take you a couple activated charcoal tablets before you start drinking. You won't have a hangover in the morning. Or take them after you get done drinking before you go to bed. And you should be cool. These teeth.
This girl was forced to participate in a government experiment by her own father, and it turned her into a monster. It was called the Abigail Project. It was the 1960s, right after World War II. The government had hired a guy named Albert Wester to work on these experiments in Area 51 to create a freaking super soldier. But because of how secret and dangerous this experiment was, nobody would volunteer. Like, they couldn't find anyone. What does Albert do? He forces his own daughter to be the test subject. But before I tell you the rest of the story, supposedly you can see if your phone is being spied on. All you gotta do is click share, click more, and if you see this, delete it immediately. Now look, Abigail was placed in a closed room all alone. They gave her growth hormones, injected classified substances in her DNA, and even surgically modified her own body when they weren't getting the results they wanted. She started to turn into something that wasn't even human and had primal instincts. Her father, who was ashamed and devastated of what he did, you know, himself, and went to heaven. Or not. 3 months later, Abigail, 2 guards that were supposed to be feeding her, and yeah, she escaped. This girl was forced to participate in a government experiment by her own father, and it turned her into a...
My father says that almost the whole world is asleep. Everybody you know, everybody you see, everybody you talk to. He says that only a few people are awake, and they live in a state of constant, total amazement. My father says that almost the whole...
So who remember a couple months ago when everybody was screaming, the birds is drones, the birds is drones? Well, what do we have here? A Chinese bird drone. That's disguised as a bird. And the conspiracy theorists win again. But now we have to ask the question, how long have these birds been around? See, now this got me looking at every bird, thinking that it's about the glitch. See, this is everywhere on the internet where they talking about these Chinese top drone robots that look like birds. And all that do is make you question the other videos where people were screaming, the birds is drones, the birds is drones. Welcome to 2024, gang, where now you can't even trust the birds that's chirping outside, because you don't know if it's a drone. Yeah.
You don't know.
Diabolical! Now let me know what y'all think about birds being drones in the comments. I can follow for more wisdom. Insta.
Yeah, they're just joking, right?
Mom, it wasn't the actual devil. No, they were just dressed as the devil, Mom. You know, yeah, no, I have to go. Yeah, you did warn me about Hollywood. Yes, you did, Mom. Yeah, you did. I will. Thank you. She said she'll be praying for all of us. Thank you. All right.
My upbringing, I grew up in a Christian environment. It took me to my adult years or leaving home where I could really try on something different for myself. That was Satanism. It's working out really well. I made a pact. That's why the movie came out so well.
In this movie, you're fighting the devil. I call him Beelzebub, Lucifer. It's how I got this job. How did you prepare for the role of fighting with the devil?
I did research in satanic kind of cults and stuff like that. In Los Angeles right now, there's like 50,000 devil worshippers. That's not even including the agents.
Yeah.
But let me
Our
tell
crowd
you
was too busy cheering satanic worship to hear the joke.
exactly.
That was the sad part.
Sammy told me he worshipped the devil. We were in Dan Tana's on that restaurant with all the pictures up. Sammy was like, Satan is as powerful as God. I was like, what the are you talking about? He says, why do you think there's so much anger in the world?
Yeah, they're just joking, right?
With everything going on in the world right now, this may be one of the wildest time periods ever. Now, this is going to be a lot, but hear me out. First of all, there's currently a global, massive market sell-off. I mean, Japan just had its worst day in the stock market since the 80s. And in the US, obviously, the market is currently plunging. The protests in Bangladesh have gotten so wild that the Prime Minister has resigned and fled the country. Protests in Nigeria are also getting out of hand as they are experiencing their worst economic crisis in a generation. You have the protests in Venezuela, and I made a whole video about that. Tensions in the Middle East are ramping up even more, especially with Lebanon and Iran now. We all know what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Top of all of this, you have the Olympics going on, and possibly the most controversial Olympics ever. And I haven't even started with what's going on in the US, but I will be updating these topics throughout the week. I haven't been able to post for a couple days, but I'm back now, so let's get it. With everything going on in the world right now, this may be one of the wildest time periods ever. Now, the protests in the UK are getting out of hand, and the story behind this is wild. So if you didn't hear, 3 children fatally passed away from a knife attack in England. Soon after, riots started, and there was some misinformation that spread like a wildfire. According to BBC News, social media posts falsely speculated that this man was an asylum seeker that came to the UK on a boat in 2023, and there's unfounded rumors that he was also Muslim. But in fact, he was actually born in Wales and his parents are Rwandan. This information spread so fast that it resulted in riots and protests, especially outside mosques and places that were hosting asylum seekers. And they're doing everything they can to take this information down, from social media sites to tame the protests, and I'll keep you guys updated as this story develops. The protests in the UK are getting out of hand, and the story behind this is wild. So if you didn't hear, 3 children... There is some odd things going on in the music industry right now. Kanye West fans are starting a hashtag called Save Kanye because they're concerned about the new allegations. Ex-Chief of Staff Milo is accusing Kanye's dentist for giving him nitrous oxide gas, so much where Kanye would spend upwards of $50,000 per month, allegedly. He even said that Kanye would pull up to meetings with an inhaler mask on, and his dentist Connolly has denied all of these allegations. Next, we have Travis Scott. He was recently arrested due to an altercation with his own bodyguard. Not only that, there's a lot of controversy around this video of how Travis handled this altercation with a fan. And we have Taylor Swift. She had to cancel a show recently due to a planned attack of terror, and all of her fans responded by flooding the streets singing her songs. That in itself raised a lot of controversy because it got canceled because of an alleged planned attack, and people just flooded the streets and started singing, which can't be safe because there's no security or anything. Who knows what's gonna happen? There is some odd things going on in the music industry right now.
That is pretty strange. But dang, Trevor Scott, you ain't have he's one in the picture.
So Megan Thee Stallion just dropped a new music video, and the symbolism is dark. She literally turns into a serpent and she consumes men. And then you have her dancing in front of a blood moon, and if you know anything about blood moon rituals, this has a lot of symbolism in itself. There's a lot of other little things in the music video. You can go watch it if you want, but this is the same person who was dancing at a Kamala Harris rally, helping her to get votes, and then she just drops this song. It's all connected. So Megan Thee Stallion just dropped a new music with everything.
Okay, let's talk. What happens when a non-Newtonian fluid is placed on rails and a train passes over it? We all know that a train's crushing power is really strong. The experiment will be conducted on retired tracks with an old train. A phone is placed on the tracks and immediately crashes as soon as the train passes over it. Then a few stones are placed on the rails. The stones instantly turn into powder as soon as the train passes them. Next, a keyboard is placed on the tracks, which is also promptly destroyed by the train's force. Now we come to the actual experiment in which the non-Newtonian fluid is tested. Non-Newtonian fluid is a special type of liquid that behaves in a totally unique way compared to your typical liquids. For example, the strange thing is the harder you punch it, the more it turns into a solid. But if you take it softly in your hand, it turns into a liquid. The non-Newtonian fluid was filled into a balloon and placed on the tracks. The moment the train passes over it, the fluid inside the balloons breaks. The liquid has spread everywhere and returned to its original state. What happens when a non-Newtonian fluid...
Whoa. Who fights in helmets, man? Like, what's the point of fighting? You're not even hitting him. That's so stupid of me.
The more you disassociate yourself with the person that you know yourself to be, the more and more you go towards your new self. You see, so I don't take nothing personal about Bobby Hemmett no more. See what I'm saying? And now, since my mama gone, I ain't got to be sentimental no more about my family. You know what I'm saying? You see, so the more and more you exit from the person who is the false self, they say thou shalt not worship false idols. I'm not talking about no other gods, because everybody's, one man's God is another man's devil. All gods are the same ultimately. It's just your perspective on it. That's a fight. That's a male or human fight more than a reality of what God is. When they say we should not worship false idols, the self you know yourself up as, like myself, the person I know myself as Bobby Hemmett is the false idol. The true self is inside of me who never incarnated on this planet. Just think about that for a minute. We've never existed on this planet. Your true self. That's mind-blowing shit. You mean to tell me I was never here? Yes, your false self was here, which is the one, the illusionary self, that the ego, basically, that tells you that this is your world around you. And you've had many of these incarnations. That is the one that is your sleep self that's been here, but your true self is the soul. Yet to emerge and is never incarnated on the planet and is the only God there is. That is the God. You see what I'm saying? That's some amazing shit. You mean I've never been on the planet? Right. And I used to say this years ago before I really knew what the concept was. The Spirit used to say it in the lecture. You never existed on this planet. You know, you're a series of events that never exist. He says this all the time. But, so the key here is to get to that true self, is to minimize everything personal. You know what I'm saying? The more you disassociate yourself.
Here is the esoteric symbolism in a cartoon we all know called Dragon Ball Z. Like anything else in entertainment, if you watch this with your third eye, it's actually a lot of deep hidden esoteric symbolism. The 7 Dragon Balls is the personification of the 7 main chakras, the 7 subtle bodies, and the 7 planes of existence. When you activate all 7 main chakras, you get a Kundalini serpent. When you activate all 7 main chakras, they allow you access to the 7 subtle bodies as well as the 7 planes of existence. This all leads to the emergence of the Kundalini serpent, aka Shinran. And if you notice, every time Goku was on Planet Kai, he was more heavy and more dense, just like us in these meat suits. Planet Kai is where he got his training, just like where we get our training. It's no coincidence they named the place where Goku get his training Planet Kai. Another name for planet Earth is actually Kai. And before we came down to Planet Kai, we was composed primarily of photon energy. We are light beings. So in a sense, the higher version of us died when we came to Planet Kai, making us have to go through training on the dense planet. And our journey is to regain the 7 Dragon Balls, aka the 7 chakras, in order to access a Kundalini awakening, aka Shinran. And when you see Goku doing the spirit bomb technique, he's actually building his auric field. The energy you see around him is emitted from his heart chakra due to the fact that the heart is a capacitor that fluctuates our electrical currency. Typically, our auric field stretches out about 3 feet, but with the right pranic energy circulation, we can get our auric field to stretch out even further. Now, in the animation, if you ever seen it, when Goku's actually gathering his energy, he typically is usurping energy from other individuals around him, basically. And he's asking them for their energy and things of that nature, asking for positive energy in order to build his auric field. This supports the theory that everything's connected energetically on a spiritual level. Quantum physicists refer to it as the string theory. And if you look at the character Piccolo, you can actually see he was dressed like a Moor, alright? And the funny thing is, he was green. And in ancient times, our skin was green before oxygen was pumped in our atmosphere. If you look at Popo, he had the same attire, dressed in the same Moor apparel. Now, even though Popo was dressed like a Moor, he actually had the embodiment of the Hindu god Mahakala. Mahakala was actually referred to as the god of time. Maybe this whole time Popo was OP and we ain't even know it. Character Birish, known as the god of destruction, is actually the personification of Anubis and Sekhmet. Dragon Ball also say that their universe is based off Universe 7, and those that follow the mathematics know that 7 is based off the God number. In conclusion, I believe Dragon Ball is based on the spiritual journey to unlock your 7 chakras in order to seek a Kundalini awakening. Here is the esoteric symbolism in a cartoon we all know called Dragon Ball.
This is nice.
How good is that? This is great. He's unbelievable.
He's great.
You know, what do you think?
Who's like your top 3 artists?
Well, we love Frank Sinatra, right?
Of course.
And, you know, there's a couple that I really like, but I don't like the people, so I don't want to really mention their name. But look at this list as an example. So it's such a great list. Aren't the Beatles always good?
Come on, they're the best.
Rolling Stones are always good.
Choose one. Let's
look at that.
You,
So
you
let's
go
do-
choose what you like to choose. You just swipe like this.
Oh yeah. That's fantastic, huh? How about, and we like the Beach Boys. We always like the Beach Boys.
We do like the Beach Boys.
Who doesn't like the Beach Boys? How about if we did the following? How about thinking that it's going to come back under proper management? How about California Dreaming?
Let's do it.
Good.
This is by far the best live stream I've ever done. I want to say thank you.
Well,
and I do want to say I do want to do a little victory dance with you. I want to step out the car, blast the music, and dance because I just had the best stream ever. You were right. You called it right before. What did you called me in the room and you said, "Watch, we're gonna have the most hits ever." Watch.
I think you will. And do you know what the hits are yet? Do you know? Have
No.
you been able to tell?
I want to.
When will you know?
We crashed multiple times.
I think you'll crash, yeah.
I think
Whatever
we're gonna
it is-
see. I'm gonna get all the analytics, the real live view count, everything.
Well, you'll let me know, but I think you'll have the biggest show. You know, Nelk had by far their biggest show.
I know. And that was I hated it when YouTube took them down.
So they had 7.5 million hits in like an hour, and then they were taken down. And I told them they'd be taken down.
And they still left it up.
They
right?
were great. No, they left. But I said YouTube or whoever it was took them down.
Right.
And I said that would happen. Only stuff.
Who's like your top 3?
Oh no, I just found it real crazy how Aiden is with the president. Like they using streamers to promote the voting now. That's how I feel. Like they using streamers to promote voting, so people can go vote and be excited to vote. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that votes, but I'm just saying, dang, I'm not voting. I don't care about it. This is crazy though. Wow.
So I know we're not going to drive anywhere, but I was wondering if you wanted to listen to like a song in here. All right, cool. This is how you open it up.
It is incredible.
Yeah, it is. I'll get on the other side.
Different kind of guy.
Pretty cool. So
I've been saying for a really long time that this female obsession with cosmetic procedures shows that we're not in a good place, and finally people are acknowledging something's wrong because women don't really look like human beings anymore, and they're calling it Pillowface. Pillowface refers to this new trend where hundreds of thousands of perfectly beautiful, healthy women, in trying to become even more beautiful, even more perfect, are literally disfiguring their faces with filler. And not only does filler never really dissolve, which causes Pillowface, it also messes with the lymphatic system, which can cause cancer. So even though filler doesn't improve the way we look, and it's also a risk to our lives, we women can't stop doing it. Because we've bought into the message that we women have an expiration date, and God forbid we show any signs of aging, we become completely irrelevant. So we will do anything to stop that from happening, including disfiguring our faces or risking our lives. I've been saying for a really long time that this female...
That's tough. They really be ruining their face. It's crazy.
How long does it take to get through a Cybertruck with a pickaxe? Compared to the aluminum F-150, I'm guessing 1 hit. Oops.
Dang.
Dude, that was like 10 hits minimum. This thing here started to peel up, and I think it might all
I thought
just
this
come
truck was like bulletproof. Ain't it bulletproof?
No. No way.
And you know what's crazy? He got too much money. Cause why is he destroying
That is
his truck?
not acceptable, dude. You just glued your truck together.
I like
That's not okay. 3 fingers. That is not okay. How long does it take to get through a Cybertruck?
That job is not worth it. it's tearing apart like that.
We live in the
Can't be
matrix. We
working.
talked about this earlier. Like, we live in the matrix where, like, society actively tries to numb you. They actively try to say, hey, when you wake up at 4 in the morning and you have to go lay rebar in LAX and you don't make enough money, even though you work an 8-hour job with overtime, you don't make enough money to raise a family. So guess what? Now your wife also has to work a job. And go, don't worry, the school system will raise your kids. And all while they do that, they beat you into the fucking dirt, and they say, hey, but you know what? You could try this new vodka, Jack Daniels. It's fucking great. Goes down smooth. And it's so difficult in life not to want to reach towards, even if it's a social media addiction, even if it's a sex addiction. It is so difficult in life for the average man to go work his ass off, come home, and still not have enough. And all you got to do is take a drag, take a hit, take a drink, and for that split moment, the worries go away. And struggle. And I truly, like, me and Max, we're in a place, I mean, he's in a way better place than me as an NFL money, right? That's a whole different category. Where he said, take me out to dinner after this one.
No doubt.
But me and Max are in a place where we have so much less to worry about. We don't have to worry about paying our mortgage. We don't have to worry about paying our car payment. We don't have to worry about any of this. But the average man, I mean, these are fucking struggles. Like, if you look at the average, the wage of, what is it, like 50K?
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, 50K? Like, I read these numbers, and I see these stats, and I see people living, I see people struggling, and I'm like, man, I truly I feel for you guys.
Yeah.
And so when you see these people living good lives, not drinking, not cheating, not beating up their wives, being a good father, like the guy, I met a guy in San Diego, and he had 2 daughters. And he comes up to me, and he starts, like, putting me on a pedestal, like, oh my God, you're Sean Strickland. I'm like, dude, you kidding me? Like, you work a hard job, you're married, you have 2 beautiful daughters that you are raising to be good people. You have done way more in your life than I could ever do. I am nobody to put on a pedestal. You struggle, I don't. You make the world struggle, I don't. So I really value when you take people like Max, when we spotlight these guys, and they're living the life that we all should live. It's fucking nice, and it's not enough, you know. And then tell you what, it doesn't get the clicks. So Max going out there and you know wearing his helmet.
Remember they told you in the Matrix that although you're trying to free these people are part of this system, and they're to be looked upon as an agent and also the enemy. You got to look upon the people as the enemy, and I'm talking about black folks. Dead black folks are dangerous now. You got to now look upon them as the goddamn enemy. In order to save them in the long run, because the souls are going to be saved, you can't have nobody fucking up your shit. And I'm telling you, these black people, it's just like this shit now. It's just one of these guys come by, he come by the house every damn day to see whether I need a ride to the fucking store, because I ain't got no car. And he got time to do this shit because he got fired from his job. Why he got fired from his job? Because he was on the job telling these niggas about how white folks is doing them, and these niggas got together and went and told the boss man on him. But they said don't cast pearls to swine. Now you gotta start turning against the masses because the masses are shit. Shit in, shit out. Remember they told you in the...
Have you ever seen someone with dead eyes? Like, this is what Robert Greene has to say about it.
And as I said to you, I don't know if we were on air or not, but deep narcissists have dead eyes. They almost can't help it. They can fake the smile, they can fake everything else, but the eyes, you have to be able to read it because you say, well, what are dead eyes? You'll know it when you see it. There's no life in them. They're like looking through you. They're not looking at you. They're looking through you. What can I get of you? You're what they call a self-object. They're an object for you to use. And that's how they're looking at you, like they would look at a hammer or something.
Everybody says narcissists are predators and they have dead eyes. But do you know what it means to have dead eyes? It means that the person you are sitting next to has no soul left in them. They can put on a nice smile on their face, but it doesn't match their eyes, because when you smile with your entire face. It's not just your mouth. And when you look at a narcissist with these dead eyes, you will feel a terror in them. You'll feel the lack or absence of life. And you will notice the fakeness of that smile. Those eyes are soul piercing. It's like when they look at you, they go deep within, analyzing every part and trying to know, what can I hunt down here? Have you witnessed these eyes? Let me know in the comments.
Have you ever seen someone with...
The real vampirism is psychic vampires. That's negative people that come around you and you start feeling bad. Or you get drained. So they got white folks now say, we don't drink the blood now because that's against the law. But now we'll call it psychic vampires. They got a whole book called the Psychic Vampire Codex, where they suck your energy. They have learned how to come in and get your essence and your energy from the psychic field. So they got coolers in Vegas. They go stand around the table. And you start losing. So they deal with all kind of advanced science. So in the movie The Cooler, he fell in love. And his shit, the shit stopped working. And they said, oh, he's got a lady luck now. Remember, luck be a lady tonight. Guys and dolls. Some Frank Sinatra and what's your boy? Marlon Brando, luck be a lady tonight. That's some real science. So when he fell in love, because if you ever been in love before, people go, when you really get in at the first level of, people say, man, you're glowing. Be a whole lot of energy. You see what I'm saying? The real vampirism is psychic vampires.
Everything we think comes into existence. So only think things that you want to come into existence. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So you got to protect your mind. And you got to know it takes 3 minutes minimum for your body to produce a hormone. Your thoughts produce chemicals. So you got a built-in CVS. You got a built-in pharmacy inside of your body. Okay? So when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. You said it. What's the word? What's the word?
Dopamine.
Dopamine. Your body is going to produce that naturally. 3 minutes or more with a thought that can activate that in your body. Everything we think comes into existence. So only think things that you want to come into existence.
Like it get to a point where you're too grown to not want growth for yourself. And if what you're doing is not working, then listen to somebody, right? Find somebody else's blueprint. And that stubbornness that you have, that resistance, that's because on the other side of that is acceptance. And if you accept it, then you know that that comes with change. And a lot of people are afraid of that change because people don't realize that they fight for that comfort. And that comfort that you have may be your failure, but it's what you know, right? And so people fight for what they know. It makes them feel, you know what I'm saying, familiar. So it's like there's some people that be wanting me to feel sorry for them and cover them, and I don't have that in me, and I don't think that that's good for you, even if I did that, because I years and years of assisting, years and years of helping, and I don't see the growth.
Now, what about people who would sit up and listen to your advice, and during their conversation, they agree with everything you're saying, but afterwards, they're going to do the whole opposite of the conversation?
Those, they have that puer archetype. That's that man-child stuff. That's that little girl, you know what I'm saying, woman's thing. Like, you a forever girl, you a forever boy when you got that kind of mentality. You know what I mean? Because, first of all, you will pretend to listen, right, to get through it, because that's how you do to your parents, right? When you're a child, you listen to your parents, like, I hear you. Really, you not. You just know that this is what's going to get you through this conversation. You feel me? But then you go back to your own thoughts and own vices. And so it's like, all right, well, next time you get into trouble, don't come back to me as well. If your mind is so sharp and you so capable of figuring this out on your own, then don't ask for help. Otherwise, listen to somebody other than yourself. And at this point in time, young boys is out there, young girls is out there, they need to be disciplined. They need to listen to somebody other than themselves 100%. Like they need to take orders like it's in the military. You do this, you do this. And the thing about it is that you go, well, I don't feel like that's my purpose. It's not my flow and all of that. Okay. Then live the way you live, and you're going to have to 10, 20, 30 years later, look back and wonder why you wasted so much time being stubborn. And then by the time you get to that point, you don't have the energy, you don't have the ambition, right? And now it sends you down this dark path of being stuck in this loop of regret. Or listen to that person that's around you that has that good advice, that has that knowledge, that wisdom, that has the experience, that has the education, and has some success.
Said this is how these people look. But watch this. Here's the bomb of all bombs. Now, this book is called The Debate and Proceedings in the Congress of the United States, Important State Papers and Public Documents. Okay, this came from the Congress. This is compiled from authentic writings, authentic records from the Congress. All right, we're going to be reading from the left-hand side, the first paragraph. All right, it says, the Choctaws. There are a considerable number of this nation on the west side of the Mississippi who have not been home for several years. About 12 miles above the post on Washita, on that river, there is a small village of them, about 30 men, who have lived there for several years and made corn. And likewise, on Bio Chico, in the northern part of the district of Appaloosa, there is another village of them, about 50 men, who have been there for about 9 years. And they say they have the governor of Louisiana's permission to settle there. Besides these, there are rambling hunting parties of them to be met with all over lower Louisiana. They are at war with the Catacus and liked by neither red nor white people. Do you see that? It says these Choctaws are not liked by red or white people. Wait a minute. I thought the Choctaws were red people. So how are they not liked by the red people and the white people? So if they're not red and they're not white, what are they? They black people. It's common sense, dude. It's common sense. They are not liked by the red nor white. And this is coming from the Congress. These are letters from the Congress. See, the Congress, they know who we are already. They know who we are already. Just like Andres Rosinski disclosed to the Congress that the skulls at Olmec sites were Negroes. These people already know that we've been here. It's us that don't know, because we allow people to tap into our emotions with these slave movies, 12 Years a Slave, Roots, all these different movies. They tap.
Peace and divine rising to all the guys and goddesses, all the high vibrational, beautiful souls and spirits. What's up? So I'm about to talk to y'all about something real fast, man. All on Facebook, I've been seeing this post about this college football player transcending. So apparently, he got hit by a car. Then when he went to the hospital, the doctors refused to save his life. They said doctors refused to perform CPR on a black college student who was hit by a car. Because of this, the family had to do CPR on the guy themselves. Because the hospital, they wanted his organs instead. They already wanted to pull the plug on him. It was so bad to the point they called the police on the family. They said they was trespassing. Now, as y'all can see, that's the God family trying to save his life. Now, let me tell y'all something, man. When y'all signed up to give y'all things away, when y'all transcend, these people will do whatever it takes to get that from y'all. Even if it's them trying to come get it before your time comes. They'll make it look like an accident just so they can collect. I'm gonna say that again. When you sign up to give your shit away when you transcend, folks will do whatever it takes to come get that shit, Even if it ain't your time to go, they'll make it look like an accident, man. Let those with a clear vision see, man. Love, value, appreciate, and endure every single last one of y'all. Ground, sun gates, detox, meditating, fast, ask everything. Peace, family. Peace and divine right.
That's sad. They didn't try to do CPR. I was like, dang. That's really effed up. Super effed up.
Why is Trump telling everybody he doesn't need any votes and has all the votes he needs, urging people not to go out and vote anymore? Could it be because all you need to cancel someone's voter registration is their name, date of birth, and either their address or the last 4 digits of their social security number? In a system with minimal safeguards, where voters aren't notified when their registration is canceled, this creates a vulnerability. Without the need for elaborate hacking, someone could effectively erase a swath of registered voters simply by having basic personal information. Is Trump exploiting this loophole to tactically remove voters from the registration rolls, ensuring those who might oppose him don't have a say? Could this be part of a larger, unseen strategy to manipulate the electoral process from within, without the knowledge of the very people it's meant to protect? Why would a leader discourage voting, a fundamental democratic right, unless there's an ulterior motive? Could it be because undermining voter confidence and registration integrity serves a deeper, more sinister purpose? Is this the silent weapon in an electoral arsenal used to quietly tip the scales in favor of one candidate? Why is Trump telling everybody he doesn't need any votes and has all the votes he needs?
You know how the police officers have body cams? Yeah. There's a police officer that went to go pretty much pull someone over for speeding or whatever. Fam, in the video,
Not a whole lot of people are talking about this, but it's been a surprisingly interesting year for the discovery of new species. I already mentioned before how hundreds of new species were discovered in Africa's Sky Islands, as well as thousands of new marine creatures discovered off the coast of Chile. But it was also reported that a 500 million year old sea creature was discovered in Canada on June 27th, as well as a report from July 7th of a new alien-like species with 20 arms lurking deep within the Antarctic Ocean. The specific creature in question is called an Antarctic strawberry star, and it apparently not only has tentacles but feathers as well. There was also a new sticky creature discovered in China, and a large creature with long nails and red eyes discovered in South India. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if something game-changing was discovered like Bigfoot, Wendigo, or maybe some sort of large sea creature which will make us have to rethink our world's ecosystems and what may or may not exist today. Regardless, there's been a lot of strange creatures discovered recently, so leave a like and let me know what you think about us in the comments. Not a whole lot of people are talking about this, but it's been a surprisingly interesting year for the discovery of new.
I told y'all these celebrities be flipping religions in public for publicity, bro. It don't be genuine, bro. Look at this video and tell me what you think.
So I'm currently cleaning house, out with the old and with the new, manifesting a new wardrobe, inshallah. I have no idea how this is gonna look. I have contractual obligations, clothes to wear, posts to do, bills that have to be paid, and you know, showing up the best I can, right? Because I know that it's not going to be perfect. I know that people may have a gripe. I mean, my arms are out, right? First of all, it's hot, and then I sweat like a puddle under my armpits. Not an excuse, but looking into Botox under my arms and finding clothes that are more aligned with where I'm headed, even if it's not.
She's sitting there talking about clothes, bro. Clothes? This supposed to be about your growth, your spiritual growth, your connection with your creator, God, or Muhammad, or Hakla. I don't know what they be doing in Islam. No disrespect. But all I got to say is, when it comes to this mainstream media, any figure that you see, and this is the thing, fuck all that. So you get to just sell your soul, and then, oh, as long as I just say Jesus loves me, or amen, I'm all good and protected. Nah, bro. People be doing shit like this so they don't have to take accountability for the type of person they is, bro. Or maybe this is her form of taking accountability, you know? Because on the flip side of it, she could know that she getting a lot of scrutiny from this and backlash, and that could be the beginning of her journey. Because she is going to get people messaging her. People are crazy out here, so people will just message you. Like, what y'all don't understand is, like, when you get to a certain point, like a media presence or celebrity presence, people just message you all day with the projections. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine somebody like on this level, and especially who she's showing her cheeks all on the internet and stuff like that. But the only thing I gotta say is this shit, when they come to the public media and be yapping and I'm doing this and I'm converting, that's cap, bro. Because if you really truly knew what type of spiritual warfare you in, why would you announce some type of move like that to the public? That's something you do behind closed doors, make your move, and then a year after a year, you be like, this is what I've been on. But you niggas just don't know how to move, bro. Like, but this who get the ball, this who get the rock. A lot of y'all think just because somebody famous and got millions, they intellectually sound or they in tune, bro. These niggas is bots! I told y'all, these celebrities be flipping religion.
Alright, y'all. That's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Got something from it. It's a good video. Alright. Peace, abundance, prosperity. In a good, healthy way. Make sure you take care of yourself. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.